Shelby, tell me exactly then how to build an organization that's going to provide me peace.
I just think there's peace and predictability and chaos otherwise. And so when my partners, Brian and Ricky and I came together, we knew that we needed to grow with the right people. And so we sort of raised the standards and had to rebuild the team. And so from that point forward, we knew that we had a certain amount of agents that we wanted to attract. And for us, building a team isn't about making more money. For us, building a team is because we love people. We love to help people grow. We love to apply systems and standards that enable them to achieve more than they ever thought they could. And that's what lights us up. And so we just began the process of attraction and took people through a selection process called career visioning.
Wait a minute, because I know. If I'm out there driving, I'm like, okay, what even is a process of attraction? Because I wake up every day trying to recruit and I'm having a hard time. So tell me, Shelby, let's start with number one. How do you attract people?
Well, I think you have to tell your story.
What does that mean?
People still join people. Like, people have options out there. You go and you say, hey, I want to get a real estate license. And you go to school and you go through the process and you're going to get mailers from every single company out there. You have options. So the question is, what story does your company tell? Because they all tell a different story. So who is the More Real Estate Group, and how do we make sure that people know who we are and what we're about and how we do what we do?
So what's the answer to that? How do you do it?
The answer to that is we direct people to our reviews. We have more than 385 five-star reviews online that will tell people what our clients say about how we do what we do, right? Not just what we do. And then we have videos on our YouTube channel that show people who we are. And what I mean by that is once every other year, we take our team down to Mexico to build a house together. Like, we just do mission work together. Because I think that type of experience bonds people in a different way. And it also enables us to get outside of just what's for us, right? Like building a career, making money, all those things are for us. And I think what keeps us grounded is doing things that are for other people. And we make sure to tell that story because that's who we are. And not everybody will fit that, and that's okay. But we're not for everybody. We are for the people who align with who we are. And so I think telling your story is really important. And there are a couple things that do that. It's your numbers, it's your results. We're proud to be number one in our market and have been for 3 years. I don't intend to lose that footing by the grace of God and our strategy and plan. And so that tells a story. Our per agent productivity tells a story, which, by the way, one of the ways that you maintain a high per agent productivity is by selecting the right people, not just people with oxygen. And then telling who you are as a people culturally. And so I think that that's what I mean by attract. And then you select by taking them through a multi-step interview process.
Okay, I got attract, now select. You're going to take them through this multi-step process. It sounds like the goal is to weed out the wrong folks.
100%. I mean, in some ways, I try to talk people out of joining us as I navigate through the process. The process enables us to get to know the person. And one of the things that I think is really important is we coach to standards and people, meaning we have standards of production here. And I think when someone walks in my office to coach with me, if I just say, hey, how are you? We're going to get off on a tangent and talk about how their weekend was or their week was or, something that doesn't feel good or whatever for the entire half-hour session. But most people know that they walk in my office and we're going to talk about the work first. Like, did you do the work that will give you the best outcomes? And that goes back to the path and the math.
Well, let's hit that. What are the standards?
Well, let me give you an example. And I always use her as an example, and I'm not sure why. But Katie joined us after 1 year in the business at a traditional brokerage. And that traditional brokerage taught her a lot about like the contract and the rules and the standards of the industry. Like, she was mentored. She wasn't coached. She was mentored. And so she had closed 5 or 6 pieces of business in her first year, which isn't bad since she never even really knew what lead generation was. And that's what I mean by mentored versus coached, right? She wasn't taught how to build a business or generate clientele. And so when she came to me, I said, if we're sitting down 1 year from today talking about your first year with us, what do you want to do? And she said, I want to close 25 units. And I said, well, going from 5 to 25 in a year is a big jump. And the only way I knew how to help her was to reverse engineer the numbers. So what we did is we took that goal of 25 and we opened up the MREA book, and the MREA book gives you an equation. And what that meant for her is that she had to dial the phone 45 times because only 9 people would pick up and have a conversation with her.
By the way, gang, if you're going to be dialing, do it in a TCPA-friendly and compliant way. Follow all the rules.
100%. And she was really just calling all the people that she knew, right?
So 40 a day meant she was going to talk to 9 people a day.
45 a day only meant nine conversations, right? But if she had 9 conversations every day, that would yield 2 appointments a week. And if she had 2 appointments a week, she'd close 25 deals that year. Well, what I did was I said, okay, Katie, every time we coach, I'm going to ask you how you win. And your answer is 45-9. And I don't ever want to hear another answer aside from 45-9. So if I see you at the grocery store 3 months from now on aisle 9 and I say, hey, how do you win? The answer needs to be 45-9, because I want you to let go of the outcome. Because I think that people get really stressed and anxious about the outcome. When in reality, and this is why I think there's peace in the plan, all they have to worry about is coming in and making 45 dials, because that will give you 9 contacts, which will give you 2 appointments a week. Let go of the rest. Don't worry about it, right? And if you're done, at 1 o'clock with 9 contacts, or 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock with 9 contacts, and you don't have an appointment that afternoon, go jump in the pool and have a margarita. I don't know. You did what you were supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Let go of the rest. Don't apply additional pressure. And she wound up closing 37 transactions that year.
Gosh, what a year. That's awesome.
Yeah. And so what I mean by that is we coach to the standards first and then the person. So when we coach, the person shows up and we talk about 45-9 and how they did and if there were any gaps and how they can improve. Because my job is to help people succeed. If my job was only to love them, then they're not going to make it in the business, right? My job is to help you succeed first and love you through it.
So you attract them, you select them, and then you're coaching them, and you're letting them decide the amount of money they want. You're then backing into the number of contacts that they have to make, and then you're putting extraordinary pressure on the lead measure, and you're not talking much about the lag measure unless it's just not happening over a period of time.
Yeah, because data tells you what needs work. Right? Without data, we don't know where the gaps are. And all of our team members, they know we'll get in the trench with them. As long as they tell me the truth about their numbers, I'm willing to get into the interference with them. But it really is just a numbers game. And I just think that gives you so much more peace.
So it's attract, to select, and then accountability. Is it really that simple, Shelby? Is it 3 things?
I honestly think that it is. And you have to keep the bench warm and just keep people coming into that environment that are matched for that want that type of ecosystem.